I just realized I was muted that entire time. That's the kind of year that it's been, I feel like. So I apologize for that. So I wanted to say welcome. Welcome to this version of Office Hours. We'll just jump right back in because, again, why not be on mute for the first 2 minutes? So today we're talking about the differences between CPAs, bookkeepers, and enrolled agents. And I'm going to start first with talking about bookkeepers. I think bookkeepers are really important for our businesses. I have a bookkeeper that I use that I love. She's absolutely fabulous. And if you want a referral to her, I can send you her info. But what does she do every month? So she goes through and categorizes the transactions that have come through my bank account. And she does it using QuickBooks. So when I get a payment from a client, when I sell something, when, I don't know, I guess those are the only two really like income producing transactions. When I pay something, when I hire someone to do work for me, when I pay for a subscription, when I buy some books, my bookkeeper goes through and categorizes all of that information. So at the end of the month, end of the quarter, the end of the year, she can run and I can run a report to let me know what my financial information looks like, right? So it's someone who's going in there and categorizing and staying up to date with the day-to-day transactions of your business. That's like the real nitty-gritty kind of work that gets right in there to let you know what's going on. I am embarrassed to say, but in full transparency, this is the first year of my business that I've actually had a bookkeeper working with me as I go, like on an ongoing continuous basis. And it has been a game changer. In the past, I have collected all my financial information and given it to my accountant or my CPA at the end of the year. Then that person would go through and do the bookkeeping retroactively, which was time consuming, of course, and then also prepare my tax returns. And so I always felt like I had an issue with money, not because it wasn't there, but because I didn't know what was going on. So now that I've hired a bookkeeper to work with me on a monthly basis, I know at the end of the month what my reports look like. I can go into QuickBooks and see what's going on right now to get a snapshot. So I don't have that same kind of fear and apprehension from not knowing, right? It wasn't that I didn't have money. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't, right? But it wasn't the amount of money that was producing anxiety for me. It was just not knowing what it was. So now I can say that I feel like I am doing it right, like a responsible business owner is. And I have a bookkeeper that works with me on a regular basis. So I highly recommend that you do that. So what's the difference between a bookkeeper and an accountant? An accountant will produce reports, maybe conduct an audit, help you classify transactions. But an accountant and a CPA, a certified public accountant, are two different types of accountants, right? An accountant cannot represent you in front of the IRS unless they are a CPA. And CPA means that they have some bookkeeping training, but that they are making decisions and giving financial advice to you based on the information they have in front of them. So the way that my bookkeeper and tax preparer or CPA work in tandem is that my bookkeeper is doing the day-to-day or the monthly work, right? Based on the reports that my bookkeeper generates, my tax preparer will then look at those numbers, make decisions about what to put where on my tax return, say, oh, you qualify for this deduction. Why don't you start doing it this way so you can save a bit of money on taxes over there? My CPA is giving me that advice that I need based on the work that the bookkeeper has done. So that's how they work in tandem. So a CPA, again, is somebody who is licensed. There are 4 exams that you have to take before you can become a licensed CPA. And I have said to many people, work with folks who have something to lose. So, and I don't mean that in like a negative way or to say that if you are not licensed, that you don't have a livelihood or reputation to lose. But as an attorney, as a CPA, as a doctor, as a licensed regulated professional, right? If we give you bad advice, we are at risk of losing our license. So our standard is a little bit higher because the work that we are doing is held to this national standard of quality, right? If you are not a licensed CPA, if you are not a licensed attorney, you don't have to adhere to that same standard. So for me as a consumer, I want to go to the person that has the credential, not just the experience, but the credential, because I will tell you, for me, that license, that attorney license that I have, it's almost like a paranoia to make sure that I don't mess up, right? I'm double, triple checking, quadruple checking to make sure that I'm giving the correct information. Because if I don't do it right, then there are repercussions that not just like, oh, I messed up for this client, but now I got to go to the state bar and defend my actions, right? Same thing with the CPA. We have ethics requirements that are required to do, and continuous education every 3 years for both CPAs and attorneys. So that's important. So do you need a bookkeeper or do you need a CPA? Tell people both. Your CPA might be able to do some of the bookkeeping, but in my experience, that makes it a little bit more expensive, because really the CPA's expertise is in providing that financial advice and preparing those tax forms for you, okay? Now, this other thing that I learned about, other profession is named an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent essentially has the same credentials or ability to help you with the IRS and tax returns as a CPA. It sounds like it's just two different routes to get there. So an enrolled agent doesn't have to study accounting, but to get there, they have to pass 3 exams with the IRS, or they have to have worked for the IRS previously, and then now, because they have all this internal working knowledge, now they can become an enrolled agent. So I have not worked with, I've spoken to a couple enrolled agents. I haven't worked with any enrolled agents before, but from my understanding, pretty similar in terms of being able to provide the tax advice and to represent someone in front of the IRS if there's an audit or if there's something that goes wrong. If I am incorrect on that, please definitely correct me, and I'd be happy to come back and make that correction. So who do you need on your team? I suggest a bookkeeper and a CPA or an enrolled agent. The two can work in tandem. Maybe your CPA, or maybe your CPA has a bookkeeper they can refer you to, or maybe your bookkeeper has a CPA or enrolled agent that they can refer you to. But just ask around. Also, when you're asking, ask what kind of businesses they normally work for. So accounting for a law firm is very different than accounting for an online business, right? That has hundreds of transactions a day. That's different. And so you want someone who's familiar with the kind of area that you are working in to keep you properly categorized. And same thing with an accountant or an enrolled agent. You want somebody who has an expertise and working knowledge in the field that you are in, just to make sure that you stay as protected as possible, right? To get the best advice possible. Okay, that is it for me today. If you are watching this in real time, or if you get this before October 27th, I am hosting a workshop, co-hosting a workshop with my friend Giovanna Beer, who is a bookkeeper, and we are doing a workshop about profits, right? How do you decide how much profit you need? How do you back yourself into making a profit? So that information is on my email list and also on my website. So head on over there, check it out, or send me a message and I will shoot you the info. It's going to be good. All right. See you all soon and have a great day.